Hello, welcome back to American Soldier Boy. As I promised in my last video, I was going to share my story about growing up. So here we go. I was born on January of 1998. I was born in a hospital. I was really, really small at the time I was born. I was believed that I was raised by my birth parents until I was about 3 or 4 years old. And then I was taken away from my parents because they really couldn't take care of us any longer. My birth dad just kind of disappeared from the scene, and my birth mom just couldn't take care of us all anymore. So, yeah, that was unfortunate, but that's how it was. So I was taken from them, and I was put in an adoption home, and I kind of remember have flickering memories in the back of my mind of being there, but I don't really know if that's from being there or maybe I was somewhere else at the time. So I'm not quite sure if that was from being in that adoption home, and I have a memory that goes back that far, being as young as I was at that time. So then the adoption agency called my current birth parents and was talking with them, and at the time they were looking to adopt another child. They had my older brother, and they were at the time, like I said before, they were looking to adopt someone else. So they said yes, and they came to see me, and they decided to adopt me. So I was adopted at 4 years old, and I grew up in their home, in a wonderful Christian home, and I was blessed to have wonderful Christian parents that raised me. I really learned a lot growing up. Learned the values of honoring the Lord, learning to worship Him sincerely, lean on Him in times of trouble, and really, really, you should lean on the Lord all the time. But and also hard work and teamwork, and just being able to play hard too. Running around the woods, getting scrapes and bruises, and falling off walls. And, get big, huge brush burns and keep going and not even think anything of it. So, yeah, that's fun days growing up in the backwoods of Pennsylvania. But yeah. Also, another value was the love of spending time with family and enjoying the small things in life, and not having to go on expensive vacations. And like I've never been to Disney World. I've never been to Six Flags amusement park. I don't plan on ever going to those places. Maybe Six Flags at some point, but if I ever can come up with enough money to go there. But definitely not Disney. And like I said, I'd rather hook up a truck in a trailer and go to the mountains and go camping. And that's just how I am and how I was raised. And I really enjoy that kind of stuff. Also, to be careful with picking friends, especially as I got into my teen years. And now I'm in my 20s, and my parents advised me about who my friends are and who and how I should go about picking them. And I'm realizing more and more as I'm going along here, especially now that I'm in the Army, being careful who my friends really are and who's really my friends and who aren't, who are just saying they are because they think I'm a nice guy and they think they can somehow gain advantage over me because they think I'm a nice guy. So it's really is important to make sure you know who your friends really are, and be studying God's word, be praying, and having a constant relationship with Him, and bring it to the Lord in prayer. You talk with Him because He will help guide you and let you know who your friends really are, and in time they'll prove themselves as well. So just be very careful who you pick as friends. I was baptized on September 2013 or 14. I'm not sure which year it was. I was 15 years old at the time when I got baptized. And I rededicated my life to Jesus Christ. So that was one of the very defining moments in my life of turning around and starting to do the right thing. Up to that point, I had been really struggling in my school studies. And up to that point, so and being really just defiant to my parents and defying their authority. And I just remember my one phone conversation my mom had one day with a friend, and they were talking about me growing up and potentially graduating high school one day. And I remember my mom saying, yeah, he's probably going to end up working a dead end job and not making very much money, and just not going to be able to provide for himself or anyone else. And I remember at the time thinking, no, that's not going to be me. I'm going to be better than that. So I'm on that path, and by the Lord's grace, I am where I am today. And like I said before, it's really only through His grace and mercy that I am where I'm at. And when a lot of people, just going back to the thing with baptism, a lot of people would say, well, if you're not baptized, you're not a Christian. That isn't true, because there are times, I believe, that in the Bible that where yes, there are, where the example was set that people should be baptized, but that doesn't necessarily prove that or make it that you aren't a Christian because of the fact that you haven't been baptized. I think there's plenty of times throughout history where people have become Christians secretly and haven't been baptized, but know for themselves that they have been cleansed of their sins and are walking right with Christ. Really, baptism is just an outward profession, a public profession of your change of commitment and your rededicating of your life to Christ. So for people to tell you that you're not a Christian because you haven't been baptized, that isn't biblically accurate. It's not what I believe to be biblically accurate. I personally don't believe that. So I graduated, and also just to finish out my growing up story, I graduated high school about 2 years. It would be this June, actually. It would be 2 years. Have been out of school. So, yeah, and actually, I got this Bible right here from some very good Christian friends of mine who we go to church with. So, like I said, I really appreciate their gift. And it's called the MacArthur Study Bible, if you're ever interested in getting one. I found it to be a very good version. And it's the New International Version, so if you ever hear me quote from this, that's the version I'm using. So, just to let you know what version I'm using. So, that's basically it with my story growing up. And the next video, I will go into why I joined the Army and where I'm at now as far as my AIT experience. So, yeah, that's all for growing up. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great rest of the evening, and God bless.